Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining New Jersey Wedding Podcasts. We are your hosts, Andrea Purtell and Celia Milton. We are both full-time professional wedding officiants located in New Jersey. And hello, Celia. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great, great. It's a beautiful day out, and I'm
Oh,
looking
it is.
forward to today's guest.
I am too. It's one of my favorite people and a great photographer, but also one of my favorite people. We're happy to welcome Gary Flom, who is the owner and lead photographer at Gary Flom Photography. They can help newly engaged couples are confused, but Gary will bring you peace of mind and the freedom to enjoy your wedding as he captures all the memories from start to finish. You probably don't even have an idea of how great those pictures can be until you look at Gary's work. And yeah, I have to say we always ask our guests to write their own introductions, and I looked at this. I'm like, that doesn't even begin to describe what Gary does, because his work is gorgeous. He's got several crews. I've worked with all of them. They're all wonderful to work with. They're almost invisible, which doesn't sound like a great thing for a photographer, but it absolutely is. They capture shots that you just don't know they're even getting. He's familiar with many, many venues, which is terrific. We were actually at a show last night at one of our venues, and I tried to come over and say hi to you, Gary, but like you're like Beyonce. He's like mobbed by like
It
adoring
was a
fans
great
wherever he
show.
goes. So
Yes, it was busy. Yes.
yes,
Uh,
and they won't want to be near Gary. So I'm just gonna let Gary talk about himself. So tell us about your
Thank you.
company, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll try to live up to that description. Thank you very much. Very much, Andrea, for doing this. And yeah, and thank you for it's a really fun a fun experience for me to be on a podcast as someone who likes to be behind the camera and invisible. It is a little unusual to be participating and sort of be in the front lines. But as one of my friend always says, as photographers, we need to step in front of the camera and pose for the photos just so that we know and don't forget what it is to be in front of the camera, what
Mhm.
our brides are feeling. So
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
true.
I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited for this season. 2024 is promising to be very busy and very good. I am very excited for the future holds. Um, and so, yeah, I'm really happy to talk about any subjects that you guys want to bring up. But a few words about my background and where I come from. Uh,
Mm.
Photography was something that I fell into more than anything else. I think I always had an interest in photography ever since I was a very little sort of teenager. Even like at the age of 11 or 12, I remember being fascinated with these cameras. They looked like almost magical to me. And I always had a great interest in photography, but I pursued a degree in finance and worked in the corporate world and did the
What?
photography on the side for many, many years. But at some point, I just saw my photography business, what was a hobby once, just taken off, and my clientele was growing, and at some point it felt like I had a corporate job Monday through Friday and a job on the weekends, working weddings almost every weekend. And then writing that resignation letter was very pleasant experience, and I stepped into I truly am the person that found that they're doing what they love. I found the passion. I love what I do. I am never tired of being a photographer, and it is a very rewarding, beautiful, emotional experience.
How
So,
wonderful to
a
do
wedding
what you love.
photographer, yeah, I love what I do, and I try to bring that to every wedding. I think every wedding is just art unfolding in front of me, and it is truly an honor and a pleasure to be able to capture it. And what also helps is just the technology. I just came back from a photography show in Las Vegas, and just looking at some of the new gear that is in the market now is just incredible. Those cameras and lenses can really help an artist, a photographer, to create some of the most remarkable images. So I'm especially excited to step into the 2024 year with a few weddings actually happening this weekend. So that's a little bit about me. And yes, I do have a team. I'm based in New Jersey, in Wayne, and I work all over New Jersey, New York area, but I have done many international destination weddings as far as Paris, Venice, Caribbean. So, but most of the work that I do is around New York and New Jersey, particularly New Jersey area. So, but yeah, I am always excited to be the photographer. I'm always honored when the couple chooses me to photograph their wedding. I know every couple has many options when it comes to selecting their photographer, and to me, it is always very special to be selected by a couple to photograph this very important day in their life. I always tell my couples that how they remember their wedding will be very much influenced by the photos that were taken by their photographer, and I keep that in my mind as well as I work with a couple. One thing that I've learned over the years, and one conclusion I guess that I've drawn as a photographer with experience, and I've been a professional photographer for over 15 years, and most of the staff that I have has been a professional photographer for 10 to 15 years as well. We as photographers are a great resource because I don't know if there's any other person on the day of the wedding who spends as much time with the couple as the photographer.
Exactly.
And even
That's
though
very true.
yeah, and even though, so I am there. I have the front row seat, if you will, to almost all of the moments that unfold from the beginning of the day when the bride is still wearing her pajamas or robes and
Mhm.
getting her makeup done, and until the last song ends. So I am there for the full day, and having photographed hundreds of weddings, I am a pretty good resource that I always encourage my couples to tap into. And I always try to be proactive and suggest a timeline and answer a few questions that maybe swirling in the couple's heads is when should the family be ready? When should the makeup be done? When should the flowers be delivered? So little things like that that may not be very clear, I always try to be proactive and suggest a timeline because I don't expect my couples to know exactly how much time is needed for the photography. And by the way, every photographer is going to be different.
Right.
Yes.
Some photographers may need a half hour, some may need an hour and a half. So how much time to allow for the photography, for the family portraits, for the group portraits. And so I always try to offer what I know, have seen, and kind of help the bride to make the planning of their wedding day a little bit easier and answer some of the questions that may be somewhat hazy or unanswered in their minds.
I think
So
that the timeline thing is so important because, and I remember in a conversation a long time ago with you that, we talked about that, and you actually recommended the one of your makeup artists, and the base of that was not just how great the work is, but the fact that the timing is so important that everything gets done in a realistic time frame so that the rest of the day can flow around what not only you but we do. Like, we have to feel like we're part of a gigantic puzzle. And I've been at weddings where we're ready to walk down the aisle. It's like, well, the photographer's like, well, we need 10 more minutes. Like, you don't have 10 more minutes.
Right.
You don't have it. And to have that consciousness of the way everybody else around you is working is really, it just makes the day go so much more smoothly. It's so much more relaxing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, if there are couples listening, I would always encourage you to talk to your photographer, talk about the timeline, ask the photographer what the timeline they would suggest, how much time they need for the photography. The one other thing that occasionally I end up observing is that some of the couples are so much into planning every detail of off their wedding day that they can't let go, and they keep on planning their wedding day even on the day of their wedding.
Yeah.
And it is important to let go. It is important to just savor the day, drink it up, live in the moment. Don't try to plan everything. Don't try to schedule every 5 minutes.
No.
Not
Yes.
everything is going to go to schedule. What I usually will recommend is just budget a little extra time here and there. So if things are slightly behind schedule, it's not a crisis.
Right.
Exactly.
There
But
comes a time where you got to
yes,
let go, let the professionals you hired
yes,
take over, do their thing, let go and enjoy
That's
and
right.
roll with it. There's
yes.
nothing's going to be perfect. It isn't a play, it's real life, and go
It's
with
life.
it, enjoy it,
Exactly, exactly.
hand over the
Delegate.
reins.
It's good
Exactly.
to have a
Delegate
schedule.
friends and make sure that you are having fun on the day of the wedding, because that's really important. It's very easy to get bogged down with details, because let's face it, a wedding is a lot of details. A
Mhm.
wedding is like putting together a puzzle that needs to come flawlessly together. But don't let a little hiccup unsettle you, and do not get fixated on a small detail that may not be exactly perfect. Your wedding day is much, much bigger than that. And
Right.
so
And
it's a
if you're
sacred moment.
having fun, that's going to show up in your photos.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I love it when the photo when the couples do the first look. Give me a chance to work with them. Often the question of the first look comes up.
Yeah.
I know some of the brides regret not doing the first look, and I know it's common, especially to keep it like a traditional, and not do the first look. But that usually means that there's not enough time for portraits.
Right.
And things are somewhat rushed. You may be limited to locations that you can go to. So I do encourage to any couples that are listening out there, if you're still planning your wedding day and you're not sure whether you're on the fence on the first look or not, do it. You will thank
Yep.
me
Yeah.
later. You will
Definitely.
go into your cocktail hour this way. You will spend time with the guests. This way, the guests get a chance to talk to you, to congratulate you. This way, you will get the conversations with the guests out of the way. And when music plays during your reception, you'll have full freedom to go on the dance floor and have a fantastic time on the dance floor, instead of going from table to table because you haven't had a chance to talk to your guests, because during the cocktail hour, you were in front of the camera with your photographer. So leaving time for photography, and I know that I guess I'm biased, but leaving time for the photography would be definitely a suggestion I would make to any couple that is out there that is planning the wedding. The more, the better. The more, the better, because you need time to allow those moments to unfold, to not rush, to not be stressed. So planning the wedding day, scheduling it, make sure that you have enough time for the photography that doesn't put any stress on you, that doesn't put any rush on you. And even if things are slightly off schedule, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Uh, so that would be one of the advices that I give to my couples, but hopefully our listeners are also taking notes. But yeah, if there's one thing that I would say, if you take away from this conversation from my end as a photographer, do allow time for the photography. It's not just the photography from the technical aspect, but as I said before, you need to give time for some of those moments to unfold, for some of the locations to cover, especially in some of the venues. Many New Jersey wedding venues are sprawling and big, and just
Yes,
from one
it's true.
spot to another could take a good 5 to 10 minutes. It's definitely good to plan some time for the photography. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like what I bring to the table. I know in the age of Instagram and social media, one thing that actually recently sort of dawned on me, or one thing that evolved in the way I process the photos, I try to uh, I try to give my couples at least 50 to 100 photos within a day or two after the wedding,
Oh,
because I
right.
cringe when I photograph a wedding and then the next day I see the bride posting a cell phone picture that someone took standing next to me from and I know, oh my
Mm,
God, these should not be the first wedding photos that go on the bride's account. So I always try
Ah.
to give a good collection of photos within 24 to 48 hours after the wedding. I know it's important. And by the way, I'm the same way. You know, if I was getting married today, I would probably want to have some photos right away. In
Yeah.
fact, I am looking into options to just transfer the photos during the wedding day, just transfer a few from my camera to my phone and email it to the bride during the wedding. So this way, it'll be a nice surprise email with a few portraits that can go right up on social media.
You know,
Uh,
I'm really glad that you brought that up. And I know Andrea is thinking the exact same thing that I am, because we were talking about this relatively new, weird phenomena of brides hiring content creators and people who follow them around and put their things on social media
Mhm.
almost immediately. And, you know, when we talked about this, and Andrea, you can correct me if I'm wrong, all that I could think of is like, if I was the photographer, I would be insane. And most of the photographers that I think don't, I mean, it's kind of common to have some pictures like the next day. Why would you want to have somebody else getting in your main photographer's way?
Yeah, I yes, you're right, Celia, absolutely. This is definitely a trend that I am noticing, and it seems to be evolving still and growing. But yeah, content creators is a new term that I am learning, and I've had a few content creators that worked with me. I think I was fortunate enough where there was clear understanding of what the boundaries are, and the person that was in the role of a content creator was not intrusive or
Good.
getting in the way much. You know, still taking photos with the phone as well as video, which wasn't exactly ideal because I felt like the photos that the content creator was taking were not as good as the ones that I would take, and those photos that I would
Mm,
provide would be available within a day. But yeah, I think it is important for the brides that are out there who are hiring content creator, which is totally understandable, given the age of social media we live in, just to make sure that there is clear agreement on what the priorities are. And in my opinion, the priority should be that the photographer and the videographer have the right of way. So the content creator should not
yeah.
be posing the couples or taking the time to set up the moments, and just stay within sort of the photojournalistic boundaries. And a lot of the times, the moments that I'm setting up and the poses that I'm setting up, they really don't need to be adjusted or changed for the content creator. They
Mhm.
can just captured the way I'm setting up for the camera. Yeah, I do see more and more questions and the requests of from the brides regarding the content creator. I welcome them. That's fine.
Today's world.
Yes,
Today's
I do just usually kind of I do just make sure that we are on the same page.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's you know it's the bride's day, and you know I just want to make sure, or I request that the photography, professional photography, and professional videography, if there is one, is prioritized, and the content creator is more or less capturing moments in a photojournalistic way. Yeah, and if they are capturing the content, that they should be capturing with the phone, not bringing out a professional camera and become sort of a third photographer there shooting on photographing over my
Right.
shoulder.
It's my understanding that they do use their phone. Now, Gary, your love for what you do shows in your art, in your photography,
Mhm.
as you're known for capturing, unique and candid shots. I know photographers all seem to have different styles. How would you describe your signature style of photography?
You know, it is a question that I never have a complete answer for. My style is evolving still, and it's changing, but it is influenced by a group of photographers, the photographers that inspired me when I was starting out, and I continue to be inspired by. The way I pose my couples, and I always will do a few traditional classic poses. Sometimes I feel like I take those photos more for the parents of the bride and groom because that's how the photos of the parents look, and I understand that they may want to have the same one. But a lot of my posing is not posed in the sense that it does not feel posed. What I try to do as I pose my couples, is to capture the real chemistry and the connection between the bride and groom. So
Yeah.
to me, this is very important. So a lot of the poses, I even use the word pose loosely, because a lot of the times what I'm setting up and directing are real moments, real moments that bring up the connection between the couple, things that make the couple have fun. And I do have a few jokes up my sleeve that I can always use. I want the laughter, I want the giggles, I want the passion, I want the romance, I want the body language to say "I love you" as I pose my couples. And that is usually what I do when I pose the bride and groom, as well as the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and the bridal party. So I would say my style is a fusion of photojournalism, a glamour, elegance, passion, and candid moments. And sometimes instead of focusing on a wider picture, sometimes focus on the little details, like maybe the hands, maybe the touch of the hand, or the rings, or even just the connection between the couple as they embrace each other. So I love photographing extreme close-ups that keep the photo almost anonymous and mysterious as well. So to me, photos that represent the beautiful chemistry, the love between the couple, is probably my favorite photos, probably the kind of photos that define my style. So I don't think there is a single word that defines it. And I am still evolving as a photographer, and that's really important. One thing that scares me, I guess, is sort of becoming stale and plateauing. So that's why I just returned a few days ago. I was at wedding photographers convention that's international, and it's in Vegas, held every year. We spent a week there learning from some of the world's best photographers, making sure that I introduce myself to those photographers whose work I admire and follow. I always take workshops and keep adding more brushes to my arsenal, more tools
So
to
important. Yeah.
to make sure that and I am not doing it. I do it for myself as much as I do it for the couples. This is truly a passion. This work for me is a passion. It is a labor of love. So learning from some of the world's best and meeting new photographers and learning from them is amazing. It's an amazing experience. And every year I try to take at least one or two really deep dive workshops that are multi-day, where I can learn new things, new tools, new poses, or sometimes it may be just a phrase that you pick up. It's little things. It's not always big things. But yes, so I know the question was how I define my style, and the true answer is there isn't a single word that defines it when I have an option to show my work. And introduce my style through the photos that I take. There's probably a group of photos that define it, and I am looking at those photos right now as I speak, and I would say they're candid, they're glamorous, they're elegant, they're passionate, they're sensual, um, and my influence comes from many sources, from ranging from Vogue magazine to many of the photographers that I follow that are New Jersey based, as well as internationally and worldwide. Um, eh, yeah.
I want to tell our listeners that you can check out Gary Flom, some of his beautiful photographs on his website and Instagram. I will be putting a link to these on the social media, and also it's on the podcast site. It is garyflom.com. That's GARYFLOM.com. And you can check out some of his beautiful work that is on his website and Instagram site.
Fantastic. Yep. It was great to talk to you, Gary, and I know I'll see you again soon.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. I think so. Thank you guys so much. It was truly a pleasure and an honor and to be a part of this. I think it is a great thing that you guys are doing. We as professionals who have been working in the wedding industry for years, I think we're sort of untapped resource. We are experts because we have done this for years. We have seen it many, many times. So to the brides out there, do please talk to us, ask questions. I'm always available for any questions. I always welcome them. And to any couples listening out there, congratulations on your upcoming wedding. And hopefully some of you I will see in front of my camera. And Andrea and Celia, thank you both so much for doing this.
Thank you for
You're very
joining.
welcome. It was great.
And remember to couples, be sure to hire your professionals in advance.
Yes.
Don't wait till the
Early.
last minute.
Now.
Hire
Right
it.
now.
But yeah.
Right now.
But thanks again for joining us today, Gary.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Andrea Purtell, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services, serving all of New Jersey.
And this is Celia Milton from NJ Vows Now. We cover North Jersey and we help our couples vow to be different.